Hey, welcome to InstaClass by Amity Online. My name is Agam Chaudhary, and I have been working with different brands in India and abroad since 2007 in digital and technology landscape. Today, we are going to talk about new age social media trends. And before we go further into this subject, let's understand what is social media trend. Social media trend is particularly a way with which we communicate on social media ecosystems. So any way with which a brand or an individual is actually communicating with the end user is actually a trend in on social media ecosystems. Now let's deep dive into the subject, and I'll walk you through a couple of new media trends and how they are actually performing. What are the DNAs of each one of them, and how you can actually leverage them. The first one is live streaming. I know it has been there into the ecosystem since couple of years now, but brands have been actually using live streaming in a much more better fashion in today's world, and it is going to improve in the coming days. For example, in the COVID era, a lot of brands did live tutorials, do it yourself ecosystems, and the end users actually pretty much liked it a lot. And this is going to be there in the picture in the coming days. Then the most important thing comes up as stories as a content format. You need to understand that almost 500 million users every day interact with Insta stories. So these numbers are huge. And brands on one way, when they are actually posting on Instagram or different social media networks, they are actually using stories to communicate further, because stories help you to reach out to all the connections that you have on the ecosystem, on a particular ecosystem. And while you are doing so, while you are actually using stories as a format to interact and communicate, you need to take care of the kind of content you are putting up on these stories. If you are using static posts, it has almost 5 to 6% higher tap rate than the dynamic content, say for example a video. And every brand would like to have less tap rate for all any kind of content that they are actually creating. So videos are going to be there in the stories in the coming days. Next thing is virtual reality. You know we are into the COVID era, where stay at home and social distancing are the new norms in our lives. But then business has to go on. So this virtual reality is actually going to help, and it is actually helping a lot of brands to reach and interact the end user and make them excited to buy a product. You need to understand that most of the new age social media trends are all about how e-commerce companies or product companies can actually leverage the technology and digital marketing as communications and tools to reach out the end customer, make them excite and buy and repeat. Okay, so virtual reality is going to be there in the game. And the better form of virtual reality is augmented reality, where you doesn't require any additional hardware. For that matter, a smartphone will do, and therefore there is more accessibility to it. You can actually play with AR VR. By using AR VR, all your products can be displayed in a much better engaging way on these social media networks. So that's gonna stay there. Now if you see that, whether it's stories as a content, AR VR, or going live, everything comes down to social commerce. Okay. Facebook, Pinterest kind of ecosystems actually allow you to set up your shop on those ecosystems, and a user who is actually hooked can browse and buy. Whereas Insta gives you more freedom in terms of product displacement, and easy to buy without even leaving Instagram as or these social media channels as ecosystems. So this social commerce is going to stay, along with there will be new ways with which influencers are used, the content that they are creating, and the type of content that they are creating, that is going to come up. Apart from all these actually commerce driven activities, or typically brand profit driven activities which are related to product or services sale, end of the day, a very strong pillar in the new age social media trends is purpose driven campaigns. If you can remember Nike, the Black Moment, and the Unilever, these Patanjali, these kind of brands are actually have been using, and they are going to use it more to actually drive a purpose out on social media networks. And when that purpose is out, that brand perception, that brand trust, that brand value goes up into the ecosystem. So whether it's a B2B brand or a B2C brand, or in today's is whether it's a D2C brand, or probably freelancers working on different assignments, um, you need to understand one thing, that end of the day your customer is not going to like kind of content, same kind of delivery all the time. And we as humans always prefer video and dynamic content more than textual content. So keeping these filters in mind, if you are actually creating content, and you are actually collaborating with similar brands, similar people, and helping them out, you are to leverage social media in a much better way. So one thing is very important while all this is happening, that you create value. And when you are creating that value, you need to understand that that value is actually generating uh, um, a value for the end user on the journey that they are on. And therefore they will be in touch with you as a end customer, and will be loyal, and will be an amplification node in the coming days. So to summarize, live streaming, stories in content format, virtual reality, augmented reality, social commerce, and the purpose driven campaigns, these are the new age social media trends that are there in the picture today, and they are going to stay in the coming days. And the core of every trend is the content will be there. So whether you are using AR, or you are using VR, or stories or purpose driven campaigns, you have to think about who is the NTG, and therefore what is the kind of content they'll engage and hook upon, and you have to then narrate accordingly. So this is new age social media trends, and happy to help with any queries that you guys have, and happy learning. Thank you.